Hello, First Presbyterian of Bend, Oregon. I'm so thrilled to hear that you all are doing We Make the Road by Walking, that there are learning circles happening, that you're using the book and this year to deepen and strengthen everyone in a spacious Christianity. I think that's just fantastic. I also am thrilled to hear that you've become friends with a good friend of mine, Kelly Bean, and that a group of you are going to accompany her to Burundi in just a matter of weeks. I think that's just tremendous. I wanted to tell you a brief story about my first visit to Burundi. I was at a gathering of young Christian leaders in the capital city, Bujumbura, and there were 35 or so young Burundians and Rwandans and a few Congolese and others there. And I noticed that whenever one fellow spoke, everybody just would burst into spontaneous laughter, but he didn't smile or laugh. It was clear he wasn't trying to tell a joke. It just seemed very awkward, but also very spontaneous when all of these people laughed. During one of the breaks, I went up and asked a Burundian woman who spoke a little English and a little French so we could communicate what was going on. And she said, "Oh, isn't it funny? I've never been in the same room with one of them. They're Batois. I didn't even know they could talk like the rest of us. It wasn't their accent funny." And she was just so completely innocent and spontaneously shocked that she was in the same room with a Batois person. Well, I realized, of course, that the Batwa, the indigenous people of that region, were seen by both Hutu and Tutsi, the two tribes that are in the majority, as an oddity, as something less than equal. And I was really impressed that in this gathering, Batwa had been invited. I went and talked to one of the Batwa men, again, using a mix of English and French. And I asked him if it hurt his feelings when the people laughed. And he said, "Well, we're used to it." He said, "We're just glad to be invited. We usually aren't even invited to gatherings like this, so we're glad to be invited." At the end of that gathering, three Batwa men pulled me aside and they grabbed a hold of my forearms and looked me right in the eye. And they said, "You see us as human beings. Many people do not see us as human beings. We want to ask you to make a vow." And I said, "Well, what's the vow?" They said, "The vow is that you will never forget us and you will try to help other people learn about us and our situation here." And so, with fear and trembling, but a sincere heart, I made that vow. I'm thrilled because in a matter of weeks, some of you are going to meet one and maybe two and maybe all three of those men, including a gifted young fellow named Everest and another fellow named Etienne. And I'm jealous because once you've been to Burundi, it really gets a place in your heart. So I'm thrilled that you're part of African Road, and I'm thrilled that we are making this road by walking together, going into the world, seeing everyone as beloved children of God, and in that way expressing a truly spacious Christianity. God bless you. Keep up the good work, and Merry Christmas.